Hello traders, welcome to session 161 live trading the ES. In today's session I'm going to be replaying a session where I had 3 out of 3, and I'll show you how I've just fired off 3 trades for another 3 out of 3. So we'll go to the live charts and I'll show you those. Now there's nothing spectacular with the setups that I trade. It's just I'm consistent, I'm disciplined, and I'm looking for certain patterns, geometric patterns that we see set up in the markets every single day. So as I say here, the $1,000 a day challenge is, if 1,000 a day is not enough for you, simply increase the number of contracts that you're trading. I know we may say that's logical, but rather than going for the home runs, rather than going for that 700-800 a day per contract, just trade more with a higher probability strategy. Anyway, you'll see more on that and exactly what I mean as we get to the chart. So as always, there is a risk in trading. Please don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose. Now the setups that I'm going to explain to you and play back the actual recording, you'll see that I had 2 trend following setups, and I had 1 counter trend setup. Now I'm very specific with counter trends, that is, I love CT trading. However, you've got to look for the best of the best setups, and if you're a new trader or perhaps never traded before, or you're not consistently profitable, do not counter trend trade. It's really easy to become fixated looking for reversals only to see the market continue. Now just after this session you'll see that I had 3 out of 3. Then there was this beautiful trend set up straight after. So there's nothing spectacular with the time of day I'm trading. For an example, I took these just after the Globex market open, which by the way is Sunday afternoon, so 6 p.m. Sunday US time the market's open, which is Monday morning down under in Australia and Southeast Asia. And so what we're looking for overall is for some good trends, and I'll show you how to identify those trends. Now today's trades, I had 3 out of 3, which I'll show you on the live charts in a moment. Now you'll notice that I really promote POQ. POQ stands for the power of quitting. I like to get in, get out, get paid. So as we get into this, let me first of all just give you stay with me. Let me just give you a quick advertisement. If you haven't already downloaded The Truth About Day Trading, my ebook, please see the description link below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. That way you'll be kept up to date with all of my videos, and even better still, come and join me. I run a live trading room and a coaching room, as you're about to see in a moment. I've got hundreds of members, and for $297 you get all of my setups. There are literally hundreds of hours of recordings. There's 35 PowerPoints. If you've got a trading platform where perhaps I don't have coded indicators, I haven't coded the indicators for your platform, I do give you, however, all of my indicator settings. So it doesn't matter which trading platform you're using, you can replicate what I do on any platform. You have lifetime license to the members area, and as you're about to see, it's probably the most comprehensive traders, scalpers and day traders website globally. And so there's literally dozens of handouts, PowerPoints, live trading sessions, etc. in each one of these. And as I mentioned, I've been running, well, I run a live trading room. I've got 294 people registered, and the coaching room. So I've also got a bonus going, and we're about to finish the ad here, by the way, where in the $297 you can also attend 1 month of my coaching sessions. That's 8 live 2-hour sessions where I'm explaining everything from money management through to the psychology of trading, and teaching you step by step how to trade my setups. Now you also have lifetime access to those recordings. After month 1, if you wish, you can drop me an email and say, hey Ray, I'd like to continue, and if that's optional, that's up to you to drop me an email. It's $197 a month should you wish to continue. Either way, you have lifetime access, and this is now 95 months I've now been running these coaching sessions for. I won't click on, well, I can't click, this is a screenshot, but within each coaching session there are extra handouts, etc., etc. All right, let's now get into this. First of all, if you've seen my videos before, you've heard me talk about this great movie from 2011 called Moneyball, and you've really got to see the movie. It's about just getting on base rather than going for those home runs, which can quite often lead to a disappointment only to see it bounce back and stop you out. I'm after get in, get out, get paid setups. I'm after the easy money trades. I'm not looking for those great big long runs. Okay, I want to get in, get out, get paid because it works. So let me show you how to do this. Now, first of all, what I'm about to cover here is where most traders they flick off. Now we are going to go to the charts and I'll explain the setups, but you need to understand the money management behind it, because this is one of the fatal mistakes that over 90% of traders make. They're not following the money management rules. Now you can start. Now I'm going to show you the 2-tick, so we're going to be trading for 2-tick Renko. Now you can start with an account if you're trading a 2-tick full contract, little as 4,000 or 400 on the micro. Now your broker will tell you you don't need 4,000. You can day trade using day trading margins, but traders, don't be fooled by that. If you're risking $100 per trade and on 4,000 for an example, that's 2.5% risk, which is the maximum I'd ever recommend you risk. Now if you start on the micro where you need 400, you go for just $30 a day within 8 weeks, and as you can see here, within 8 weeks you've now got, well, I've got to legally say potentially 4,300 in your account. You can now roll over now and start trading the big contract. Within a further 8 weeks you've got the potential income there of 12,000 a week income trading just 10 contracts. I'm going to show you how to do that. You will see it, and I've got, this is session 161 by the way, and if you go right back to day dot, you'll see my setups have never changed. They're all the same. All you might see is maybe I've changed a color on an EMA or something like that, but I think it was Gann that famously said there's nothing new under the sun, meaning the setups that I trade, yes, I might have updated them, but I trade the best of the best, and I've been trading now for 28 years. You can't really see my library here. I'm a researcher trader. I'm teaching you the best of the best. Now let's now jump ahead and say, okay, look, I want to be conservative, Ray. I want to stay in this business long term. In that case, if you want to be really take it easy, I recommend you start off with 625 or 6,250 to trade the 2-tick correctly. Why? If you're a new trader, your stop loss ideally can be at times up to 10 ticks. That's $125 on this market. By the way, there's a ton of other markets you can trade. You can trade what I'm about to show you on any market, the Russell, the Dow, you can trade gold, oil, it really doesn't matter. But with this and it's $12.50 a tick, so therefore you need a higher account, 6,250. Now if you go for just $32 a day, and once again I'll show you how to do that, in 12 weeks your account is now 6.3. You can roll over and start trading, gaining 300 a day, and look where you are in 24 weeks. This is the true potential. Now there, 6.30, $32 a day. Look where you are in 12 weeks. From there, 325 a day, which is my target. Okay, and you can see where you are in 10 weeks and 13 weeks. $20,000 a week income is a true potential. All right, now I'm not even going to show you and explain anymore. Look, I will mention it for the young guns watching this. 500 is only 6 8-tick trades a day. Now I believe in POQ, power quitting. Get in, get out, get paid. But look at the bottom line there. Now how these compound tables work, and by the way, you can download this in the you'll see in the description link below. I've even got a little training video. Is you only start trading a second contract each time you double your money. So unlike some of these ridiculous compounding videos you see around with the potential of trading here, once you get another 6,250, you start trading a second. You get up another 6,250, you start trading three. You're using the market's money. Now just before we go to the charts, what am I looking for? All of these levels act as support resistance levels. They're easy to learn if you're a brand new trader. Doesn't matter what a pivot level is or a Camarilla pivot or what the major EMAs are, is that any good trading platform can have all of these plot automatically on your charts. After a couple of hours of trading or training, I should say, sorry, you'll learn how to trade these. It's not rocket science. It's just a matter of waiting for the right EMA bounces. So let's go to the chart. So why don't we just start off first of all with today's trading. Now as I mentioned, this is Sunday. Now it's actually just rolled over, or it's about to roll over past midnight Central Standard Time, so it's still the 19th of April. And so we've got the Iran war going on, and there's still a lot of uncertainty in the market. And what that means, traders, is a lot of extra volatility in the market. Now what we've got to be careful when we trade is this just here. When you've got major EMAs coming together, yes, you can trade ranges, but it's tricky. Here I've got a breakdown. I've got a new lower low, we've got a potential trade there and another potential just there. Each one of these steps here, by the way, on the 2-tick chart is worth $12.50 or $1.25 if you're trade. Now generally, by the way, just here we usually get a bounce either on this red line here or this black line just here, but each one of these is $12.50, so 6 steps is $75. And these are, I want you to notice the white paint bars and the arrows. They give you clear entry signals, and we only take them though ideally when we've got a trendy market. Now let me just go back a couple of hours here and I'll show you. Now I've marked up, these are all, this is for training of my members tomorrow, and I'll just turn this camera off because it's skewing. There we go, and just turn it back on. So all of these I've got labeled. These are all setups for training with my members tomorrow. For an example, this one would have been a loss. However, look how many winning trades there were straight after. But if we go back to my trading session earlier today, let me just quickly show you this. Just going back, my first one was here. Now this is at nearly 6:30 Central Standard Time, and we can see here, and the reason I marked up there, it hit 7 ticks. I didn't go to break even. I was waiting. I had a 13-tick target down here. What can you see here, traders? A trending market. I teach you how to clearly identify a trending market. Now there was then a setup straight after. I didn't take that one. I was tempted to, and I wish I had have, but I didn't take that. But I did take this one. And for members watching this was a bet the farm, as well as a T12. Okay, and thank you very much. Now by the way, my target, as you'll see in every one of my videos here, on the 2-tick is 325 a day. Usually you can achieve that within 3 to 4 net trades. So here I had 3 from 3. Here was the last trade. I wish I tried to get in here, but it took off very quickly just there. But I did jump in here, and that completed 3 out of 3. Okay, we then had a deeper pullback, a new higher high, and then there were setups there on after. but let's have a look at the recording that I wanted to show you of the original session. But there's nothing like seeing that the strategies traders, and I'll just move this back over, work day in, day out. Okay, there's no rocket science here. There's clear signals, and what's really important, the setups are all based upon patterns, and they're all based upon logic, and I fully disclose to you exactly how these patterns work. So let me just pull this video up. Where is that one? I think, yes, this is it, just here. All right, so let me pause the video and explain each one of these setups as they do set up. And now I'm just going to let this go back. Now see that what I was doing then, what I was doing is scrunching up the chart, looking for the pivots. Are there any pivots below me? Now a pivot can be a floor pivot, it can be the current day's high, it can be the open, high, low and close from yesterday, it can be any major support resistance level. All of these become price magnets. So I've taken this trade and know this is just a typical easy money trade, and I was checking what's below. Now normally I'm after up to 10 ticks, between 8 and 10 ticks. Here I'm going for a larger target, and the reason being was volatility. Now look what happened there. Now I don't remember this happening, by the way, so it's a good lesson. So just here I came down and I actually tagged my exit, but I was not filled. You see, when we trade, we're in a lineup of other traders. So yes, we could have gone there, market if touched, okay, if it touched. However, I'm really want to see if I can get a complete fill, and rather than get slippage there, we did not. So just here I've locked 3 ticks in. So even if it comes back and hits me, stops me out, at least I'll be out at break even. Now sometimes you'll see me after I go to break even bring my stop back up. Depends on the trend of a market. Now just while we're looking at this setup, you had a setup there, you had maybe a setup just here, but getting very low probability, and you had a definite setup just here. Now why wasn't I in those setups? Because I wasn't trading at that time. So here I've gone short, looking, this is a trend following setup, and here I'm filled, thank you very much. Okay, so in a moment I'll probably recenter that. You may notice we're offline at the moment. When I say offline, the chart's a bit, here we go. Now we just had there another potential trade. Now I wasn't in that one because I was already in this one. Now let me just quickly cover with you, what about adding to a trade? Yes, you can, but you never ever risk any more than 2% of your account. There are old traders, there are bold traders, but there are no old bold traders. Money management is everything. We are risk managers. I've got to keep driving this home to traders, because you know, a trader will have a really good run, maybe have 4 or 5 trades in a row that are winners. All of a sudden they up their risk parameters to maybe 4 or 5%. They have a couple of outs and they wipe out all their profits. Traders, we've got to think long term. Anyway, just here I've gone long. Now this probably was a T3 or a 2D. I have, by the way, I have 2 charts that I'm really focused on. The entry chart, which you can see there, but I also have what we call an anchor chart 1, where we want to be trading in the direction of that time frame. Now just here I am in late. I can already tell because my stop loss is up to 10 ticks. It should be 1 tick below. So I'm in this trade late. See what happens here. Once again, I'm just checking there, and we could see that the current day's low is there and there's a major pivot there. Now This is the type of trade I'm recommending that new traders do not trade. You want to stick with trading with the trend. And what I didn't finish there was talking about adding to your position. Because we were already well and truly in the green, you could add to your position without virtually any risk, providing your stop was just above this swing. So you're in the green, you can add to your position. But if you already had, say, 2% exposed, then price pulls back. We've got a setup, high probability setup called a 𝗍𝗃𝗺𝗃. But then you get the 𝗍𝗃𝗃 setup. It means technically then you've got up to 4% risk. We don't want to do that. Okay, so anyway, on this one here, I am long. You can see here I've got a target up here. Now you had another re-entry point just there, by the way. So now just note here, I'm going to break even and hit my target. Now when you're trading counter trends, we want to get to break even as soon as we can, because we never know when we're going to turn. Now I can't remember on the recording, but about here we should be getting a setup. This will be what we call a 2B, and maybe I don't take it. And it's actually members, you can see it's also a little 𝗍𝗃𝗺𝗃. So this is a trade I should be in. Now to take a trade, what I'm doing, I'm looking at my anchor chart, and on my anchor chart it's giving me a precise entry point when to enter. So I must have paused the video there, by the way. It come down, and I see why. It's called a T10. It's also known as a ka-ching trade, or money on the floor trade. Once again, these terms you learn, there's nothing smart about them, it's just the pattern. But just there we do have a ka-ching trade, a T10 short. Now look down below, I've got the current day's low. Now that is below this little swing. Quite often you'll get a bounce at these swings, but a very high probability, you can see we are stair-stepping our way down, that we will come down and kiss this low. What you may see me do at times, traders, is if I can see that on my dome I've already hit my daily target, I sometimes will get to break even and get out early before I actually hit the final target. And that's, I'm just pointing this potential setup. That's my anchor chart, by the way. So just checking the anchor chart one, and so see that swing here. Quite often we'll get down and test that low. Here we're on the way down, and there's nothing better than hitting a target, get in, get out, get paid. Now I can't remember what I do here, but we'll see in a moment, excuse me. So I'm locking profits in now, and I'm looking at this swing because I know there's a chance that I may bounce off this swing low. Now even if I do that, there's a good chance also it'll pull back and I'll get another bounce short. I'll just move this along a little bit. Now we're coming down. Okay, now see what I was just doing, and see how I've dropped that horizontal line in, and here I'm bringing my stop down. I'm locking profit in, and as I mentioned, there's the bounce at the moment off that swing. I've now got 4 ticks locked in on 10 contracts, so that's $500, and there it is there. It popped down and stopped me out. Thank you very much. So that was 3 for 3, and look what happens straight after. We start to reverse, and then there's these beautiful setups on the way up. Now see the gold line there? Follow the gold is what I say to my members. Follow the gold. You can't go wrong when you've got a trending gold EMA. Okay, so that was that market. Now let's now just go back. The market had slowed down, and at times, even today, the market got really quick there at one stage. So let me just maybe minimize this for a moment, and I need to just turn that camera off to do that. Okay, very good. So look what's here. Can you remember what I said over here, traders? I said we'd either bounce down here or bounce off the black line, and look what we've got there. And so we call that, by the way, it's called a T12. It's a setup we see every day. It's a high probability setup. Something that happens on the higher time frame and it kicks butt. Now we're rallying to the long side. Now we just rolled over. It's about to turn midnight Central Standard Time. Now we actually roll over with our pivots at 12 midnight Eastern Standard, and you just had, for members watching that, we just had a little T10 just here. So basically 325 a day, you're after 26 ticks a day. Just 26 of those a day is all we're after. So traders, I've given you a quick rundown. I won't play back today's video, and yes, let me quickly show you this. You know, some people somehow, oh no, did I upload it? Let me just pause this for a moment. So just very quickly, so this is the trades I mentioned that I'd taken earlier that I showed you from today. So as I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention, so I've got a maximum stop loss of 10 ticks. Ideally, if you can keep it down to 8 ticks as you gain experience, that also means if you're willing to risk 2.5%, you can get away the 4,000 account rather than 6,250. However, for new traders, I recommend you play conservative. Now this is where I've got this 13 tick target, and it took some time for me to hit that. So now that's where I hit 7 ticks, and the reason I bring that up, sometimes you're better off just scalping for 6 or 7 ticks than looking for a retracement and then jumping back in again. 6 tick moves are so common with the ES. So here I'm after a much larger target. However, what have I got below me? A pivot. When you got pivots and you learn how to trade pivots, they become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And let me just move this along just very quickly. So we're slowly grinding down to the pivot. Whoops, and maybe I just not jumping ahead too far here. It's hard to see there, but we come down, we hit the pivot, and this is then the other entry. This, by the way, was a bet the farm, we call this setup. Notice where I'm targeting again. Okay, so just note there, I'm just above the pivot again. Now I'll usually what we call front run traders is where we'll exit, we'll cover 1 or 2 ticks before the pivot, because as a professional trader I know that the amateurs are going to be here or don't understand the pivots, etc. Now, do you have to trade with pivots? By the way, no, you don't. However, they make excellent targets and really improve the probabilities of some of our setups. But let me just see what happened with this one. Had a bit of a bounce there. We're still in the trade. Okay, this then turned into a T10 for members watching this. Now a T10 traders is a very high probability, well, I mentioned it before, it's what we call a ka-ching trade. We see those every day. So traders, I've covered a lot in this session, as I usually do. Why don't you come and join me? Let me teach you how to day trade. This is not rocket science. It's about understanding the patterns, getting the right education, learning the right money management rules. If you want to trade with a prop firm, well, you've got dozens of traders now that trade with prop firms, because the benefit of my strategies with prop firms is my setups are very mechanical and they're very rules based with strict money management rules. So it makes an ideal strategy for traders to trade. Come and join me. Thank you traders. See you in my next video, or better still, see you in one of my training sessions.